Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. A connection between Britt and, spoiler, is unveiled, and Lucy pulls a fast one on Brooklyn while on air. On General Hospital today, Jason leaves for home with only his recollections of Britt, Carly has a romantic afternoon with Jack, and Anna and Dante talk about how Joss was recruited into the WSB. Carly is getting ready for a private party at the Metro Court pool when Jack gets there. He discloses that he is the customer who reserved the pool exclusively for them. Are Jack and Carly formally together? Carly and Jack sip champagne while dipping their feet in the pool. What is the source of this surprise? Carly asks. Jack acknowledges that he has missed her and that they haven't spent much time together recently. They share a kiss when she admits that she has also missed him. When Carly inquires about his life, she is aware that he is unable to provide her with specifics. He clarifies that although he is facing a challenging situation, things are moving forward. What's going on in your world? He asks Carly. When Carly tells him that Sasha and Daisy are leaving town, she and Michael are devastated because they don't know whether they will ever see them again. Carly tells him about the occurrences that occurred and reveals that Sasha thinks someone was pursuing Daisy. Given everything she's been through, she can't begrudge Sasha for wanting to protect that kid, but it's killing her and Michael. She acknowledges that she wanted to call him to make things right, but she didn't want their worlds to collide because Daisy might have been singled out because of Sunny. Furthermore, she doesn't want to appear as like she is taking advantage of him because he has repeatedly broken the rules for her. She asserts that he doesn't need to miraculously fix all of her issues because he is sufficient for her just the way he is. Even if all he can do is listen, Jack says he wants her to come to him if something is wrong. Jack is unable to inform her of what is happening because he must check in with work, leave, and return. He understands that he has probably never attempted to have a personal life of his own because he is unable to share his work with others. But even if he is unable to communicate with her, it still helps to be around her. They share another kiss. Vaughn corrects Joss when Joss and Vaughn get to Jack's office, they discover it is deserted. Joss believes Jack is with her mother, but Vaughn says he has most likely taken the afternoon off. She complains that dating an agent's mother must be prohibited. She should stop it, he advises, because creating a stir for your boss is a surefire way to land a dull desk job. She doesn't want to confront Jack, he cautions. He has incredible authority and moved from serving a prison sentence to becoming the chief of the WSB. You're telling me that Brennan can do anything he wants and get away with it? Asks Joss. Vaughn claims that Brennan has saved him more time than he can remember and is the best supervisor he has ever had. She doesn't want Jack to be her enemy if she hopes to work for the WSB. Will Carly hear about Joss from Anna or Dante? In her office, Anna informs Dante that she thinks Vaughn is her partner and that Jack enlisted Joss as a WSB agent. Although Anna claims she was enlisted when she was younger than Joss, Dante finds it hard to accept his younger sister as a spy. Because no one would suspect a college student of being a spy, she claims Joss is the ideal agent. Brennan has a talent for it, Anna observes, and after speaking with Carly earlier, she is certain that Joss has been hired to keep an eye on Dalton and his employer. How could Brennan have enticed Joss in, Dante wonders? With Cyrus Renault. Joss was so adamant about proving Cyrus killed Dex that she went to considerable measures to conduct her own investigation, according to Anna. She wonders if Brennan was assisting her in her pursuit of Cyrus after noticing how determined she was. She always had leads that a civilian wouldn't have, so that would have allowed Jack to test her. Dante detests the notion that Brennan turned Joss into an agent by using her pain. When she was recruited, Anna remembers feeling isolated and studying dance, but she always thought there was more out there for her. She was told by her recruiter that she was unique and had the potential to change the world, which is probably what Jack said to Joss. She found a sense of fulfillment in the WSB, and Joss probably feels the same way. When Dante inquires as to when she was trained, he soon learns that it was during Joss's purported trip to Easter Island. According to Anna, Joss was the ideal person to join the WSB at PCU. What comes next? Dante asks. Anna believes Dalton must be involved in something more serious than animal experiments since she claims Joss ruined Emma's study in order to take away her internship with Dalton. According to Anna, Joss has no idea what she's getting herself into and is unaware of the long-term costs associated with the WSB. Dante is aware that it cost him his marriage, and he questions Carly's reaction if she found out that Jack had recruited Joss. Dante queries whether Jack could have reached Joss by using Carly. Since Anna is unaware, Dante muses that perhaps Carly need to be aware of this. He can't inform Carly, according to Anna, because doing so would reveal Joss's secret, and they are unaware of Dalton's true situation. Anna claims that Jack must be a threat if he is making such an effort to harm Dalton. Would he sacrifice an agent to stop Dalton? Dante asks. Can you guess who has returned home and heart? Lucy informs Flora, one of the hosts, on the Home and Heart set that Brooke Lynn is a little anxious about appearing on camera. Flora then reassures Brooke Lynn that she has inherited her mother's charm and that she will succeed. Later, when Brooke Lynn appears upset, Flora asks her if she made a mistake by bringing up her mother. According to Brooke Lynn, she and Lucy are merely filling in for her mother, who has resigned as their spokesperson. The two of them will make sure Lucy stays on topic, according to Flora. Lucy assures Brooke Lynn that she has a method for keeping the audience riveted to the television during their pre-air conversation. Although Brooke Lynn is concerned, Lucy maintains that she is capable of providing the audience with what they desire. Brooke Lynn promises to try her hardest after Lucy reminds her of the significance of this segment. Lucy must know how she is doing. Brooke Lynn misses her mother and their past together, and she can't stop thinking about how much the crowd loves her. Flora introduces Lucy and Brooke Lynn before the show starts, and they congratulate her on her new show, Flora's Garden. Lucy and Brooke Lynn explain that they are launching Youth Truth, a new serum, today. Lucy then introduces Lois as a surprise to aid in the product's sale. Lois whispers, "Lucy told me you knew," as she and Brooke Lynn embrace for the camera. "I apologize." Brooke Lynn chooses to take a back seat to allow the original performer to take over, but Lucy forces Lois and Brooke Lynn to take over and yanks Flora off the stage. As she and Lois market the new serum, Brooke Lynn maintains her poise. Flora chastises Lucy for that ambush off camera. According to Lucy, Lois and Brooke Lynn are a hit, and the numbers don't lie. Was that Britt Jason saw? Jason informs a flight attendant in Paris that he must board the aircraft before it takes off in order to talk to a passenger. Jason offers to purchase a ticket, but is informed that it is too late and that the doors are closed. Jason recalls witnessing a woman that resembled Britt dash to catch the jet. Later, when he boards a plane to return to New York, Jason starts reflecting about his time spent on the run with Britt. He remembers her telling him about her Huntington's disease and how she was hurt when she learned he was getting married to Carly. Lucy and Flora join BLQ and Lois on air in the show's closing moments, revealing that they had run out of the serum. Flora remarks that the mother-daughter has a wonderful on-air relationship as the performance comes to a close. Brooke Lynn chastises Lucy for that stunt, and Flora is called away. Lucy claims that she acted in this way for deception and the two of them. She claims that since they are magical, they should be able to move on from their disagreement. Although she is proud of Lucy and has missed her terribly, Lois claims she wouldn't have come if she had known she had lied to her daughter. Without turning to face her mother, Brooke Lynn tells Lucy that she will demonstrate to her how much she has learned from Tracy if she repeats this behavior. After that, she dismisses her mother and leaves. Anna informs Dante at her office that she would handle this matter with Joss. Dante claims that while working for the WSB, they both suffered significant losses. He questions if she would have desired someone to save her at Joss' age. Carly and Jack keep kissing at the pool, hoping that their relationship will last. Joss assures Vaughn in Jack's office that she will not put the mission in danger in any way. He claims that she is preoccupied, but she cannot be since both their lives and the opportunity are at stake. Vaughn receives a call informing him that the courier is on his way to Dubrovnik, but stopped in Paris. Jason keeps thinking about the last time he saw Britt on Cassadine Island while he's on the plane. The woman who resembles Britt exits a car in Dubrovnik, Croatia, and is greeted by a man. "It's good to be back," she says. Tracy tells someone on the next General Hospital that will never happen. Isaiah advises Portia to give it her all if she is about to die, while Willow informs Liz, "Tomorrow I become Mrs. Drew Kane." Turner advises Chase to treat this as a possible kidnapping while Lucas is present at the PCPD. On the phone, Sidwell states that he anticipates receiving what he desires in exchange. If you don't, I will, Sunny says to Laura. PCPD abduction case, Willow is all set to become Mrs. Drew Kane. According to General Hospital spoilers, while Willow Tate prepares to play Mrs. Drew Kane, the PCPD will work on an abduction investigation. Let's discuss what's coming up in Port Charles since Jen Sidwell will also want to make a trade. First of all, Willow will tell Elizabeth Baldwin how excited she is to marry Drew Kane and how soon she will get married. Willow will look forward to getting married for the time being, even though these marriages are doomed. Martin Gray will meet with Tracy Quartermaine in the interim and provide her with some crucial updates. Since Tracy will maintain that that's never gonna happen, she won't like what she hears regarding Portia Robinson. Isaiah Gannon will give her some wise counsel. Isaiah will insist that Portia should fight to the end if she is going down. Portia is done caving in to Drew's demands because she has had enough of him forcing her to do things she doesn't want to do. Later this week, though, Curtis Ashford will get ready to make a daring move of his own. It appears that Curtis will continue to betray Nina Reeves and tell Willow about her mother's heated interactions with Drew. Since Lucas Jones will be at the police station to report Marco Rios missing, let's talk about him in the interim. ADA Justine Turner will request that the PCPD consider this as a possible abduction as Lucas would blame Sonny Corinthos. As Marco is still missing, ADA Turner will put pressure on Harrison Chase. He'll call Sidwell over and make an offer. It appears that Sidwell will give in to at least some of Sonny's requests, but he will demand that Marco's freedom be given to him in exchange. Laura Collins will next receive some disturbing news, which could also be related to Marco's disappearance. Eventually, Sonny will speak with Laura and promise her something. GH spoilers, writers only pay attention to Daisy, putting Amelia and Wiley in peril? According to General Hospital spoilers, there is growing concern that Drew Quartermaine and Jen Sidwell's possible partnership would soon endanger Amelia and Wiley Corinthos. The writer's apparent obsession with Daisy Corinthos Gilmore's kidnapping on July 4th has angered fans. Sidwell's violent actions and Drew's machinations suggest a strategy that targets not only the news of the bunch but all of the Corinthos children. Supporters are upset that Sasha Gilmore Corbin's daughter is receiving so much attention while Amelia and Wiley are being ignored. Why does Michael Corinthos not care more about them? Will the authors take action if the children are in danger? Fans are furious about Daisy's spotlight. Fans are expressing their annoyance on social media by posting, "Why only Daisy?" Keep Wiley and Amelia safe, as the story focuses on Sasha's anxieties after being abducted, neglecting Michael's other kids. Sidwell's conflict with Sonny Corinthos and Drew's grudge, which is shown in his scarring of Wiley and numerous manipulations of Willow Corinthos, point to a larger threat, possibly another kidnapping at a Quartermaine family gathering. The children are at risk because of Willow's despair and Michael's agony over missing out on Daisy's upbringing. Will Daisy remain the only worry, or will the authors turn their attention to Amelia and Wiley's safety? According to GH spoilers, Sidwell's apparent involvement in the penthouse bombing and Drew's manipulation, which included persuading Dr. Portia Robinson to fabricate Michael's drug test results, could bring them together to target the Corinthos children in an attempt to break Michael and Sonny. The writer's focus on Daisy irritates readers even while a terrifying scheme, possibly a coordinated attack, might target Amelia and Wiley. These two are out to bring Sonny down, and the safety of the Corinthos family is seriously threatened by Drew's desire for vengeance against Michael in order to please Willow and make him more tolerant of him. Port Charles children at risk. The danger to Amelia and Wiley has the potential to completely upend this family, including Nina Reeves and her delicate bond with Willow. Some fans of GH are begging, "Save all the children," while others yell, "GH is ignoring Wiley and Amelia." Will Amelia and Wiley be put in danger by Drew and Sidwell's plot, or will fans be incensed at the author's attention on Daisy while the Corinthos children are ignored? Jocelyn spotted Danny across the way as she went briskly through the deck area, where the Metro Court pool was beaten by the midday sun. He was behind the bar, setting out glasses while carrying a towel over his shoulder. He nodded amiably at Joss, who greeted him warmly and praised his work ethic. At that moment, Professor Henry Dalton entered the bright pool area with assurance. In contrast to his customary scholastic manner, he was at ease and was dressed in athletic swimwear. Jocelyn came over to compliment him on his recent peer-reviewed work in a light-hearted manner. Dalton expressed his happiness at the recognition, saying he had hoped to fit in a few laps before starting his work. Joss graciously offered to keep an eye on his emails while he was swimming. Dalton placed his gym bag on a lounge chair and dove gracefully into the water. Joss's eyes moved slightly to the bag as he made clean cuts through the water. A well-dressed woman on the far side of the deck appeared to be listening intently as well, her eyes hidden by sunglasses. Seeing something was wrong, Joss silently called Vaughn to the pool by typing a message into her phone. She spoke in a controlled yet anxious tone. Then she flagged down Danny, whispering to him that her mother said the woman on the other side of the deck was a big tipper. Always eager for a tip, Danny walked over with his endearing grin. Joss was acutely aware of the wordless exchange between Dalton and the enigmatic visitor while Danny engaged the woman in conversation and offered his services. Their gaze conveyed more information than words could. After completing his swim, Dalton got out and made his way back to Joss. The woman started to approach the bag while he was drying himself off with a towel. Conveniently, Danny intervened just as her fingers were ready to touch, asking if she needed anything else and offering her a clean towel. The woman backed off graciously, her attention in the bag momentarily interrupted. "The real work will soon start," Dalton, who was now dry and wearing a business casual attire, said incoherently to Jocelyn. He had to see the dean of PCU first, though. Unaware, or perhaps conscious, of the attention his luggage had garnered, he scooped it up. Joss leaned close to the bag and took a tracker out of her pocket as he turned to go. However, Dalton quickly turned around before she could turn it on. She masked her near move by acting as though she had dropped her glasses and hurried to her feet. Before leaving, Dalton gave her a nod, grinned, and promised to speak with her shortly. Felicia had been called into Anna Devane's office elsewhere in town. Anna immediately began to suspect Felicia as soon as she entered. She thought Vaughn was more than just a newcomer to PCU. She was actually starting to believe that he was either working with or against the WSB and that there was a reason he had been stationed so close to Dalton's lab. More concerns than it addressed were prompted by Vaughn's intense interest in Emma, who had just enrolled at PCU after Dalton was appointed there. Felicia appeared worried about Anna, not just about her theories. She subtly implied that perhaps Anna's personal problems, especially Brennan's forced departure from the WSB, were impairing her judgment. "Are you investigating this as a grandmother or as a former agent attempting to re-enter the field?" she inquired. The question took Anna by surprise and caused her to halt, but it hung in the air without a clear response. Nina, meantime, sat at her desk at Crimson, clearly uneasy. She was holding a magazine with headlines about her and Sunny's marriage blazing across the cover. Shortly after, Sunny came in and demanded to know why she had given the media such stories. Nina acknowledged that Tracy had planned the entire incident and was using the prospect of destroying her already tenuous connection with Willow as blackmail. Sunny listened, his jaw tightening. Nina went on to say that the interview had a second section that alluded to his mental health, his reliance on drugs, and what transpired when he stopped taking them. Sunny's words had a steely edge, but his voice stayed composed. "Tracy is to blame for this, and I will deal with her." Nina acknowledged that Tracy's actions were motivated by her worry for Gio, believing that Sunny's environment was too dangerous for him. "No one gets to rewrite my story." For once, Sunny did not disagree. He described how Gio had approached him with sensitive material and how he had adamantly advised him to avoid any criminal activity. Gio was hurt, but Sunny felt it was essential. Gio needed to be kept at a distance in order to be protected. Changing topics, Nina revealed that while away on deception business, Maxie had left her in charge of Drew and Willow's wedding arrangements, a duty she dreaded. Sunny explained to her that occasionally unexpected things happen, perhaps Drew and Willow had a chance after all. He told Nina to look after herself before he left, and she agreed. Across town, Dante met Lulu at a local cafe. The conversation soon shifted to Rocco and their conflict. Lulu was furious with Brooklyn because she thought she had intentionally pursued their son's affections. Dante made an effort to convey that BLQ was deeply sorry for its mistakes. Lulu wouldn't care, particularly if Dante was merely standing up for her because she was Joe's mother. Dante tried to clarify that forgiveness wasn't weakness during their heated but quiet argument. He claimed that she was prepared to resign in order to protect Rocco and Gio. The notion that Brooklyn could be so altruistic made Lulu laugh. Unwilling to make concessions, she walked away from the table. Sunny was later discovered by Lulu at the pool. She brought up the media attacks and how they were affecting Rocco and Laura. To deprive Ezra and Drew of their power, she urged Sunny to think about selling the piers. Sunny said that he had already received an offer, but he refused to sell to that specific customer. Nevertheless, he pledged to come up with an alternative that would safeguard Laura and the city. Rocco was waiting nervously at an outside cafe somewhere else. Liesel Albrecht showed up shortly after, grinning broadly. Despite the passage of time, they greeted each other as if they were old friends. Even though his relationship with Britt was complex, Rocco was curious about her. Nothing was sugar-coated by Albrecht. She claimed that although Britt had been bright and driven, she had been afflicted by bad decisions and self-destructive habits. Albrecht urged Rocco to consider the whole picture, even if he acknowledged that he had heard she wasn't the greatest person. When Britt was raising him, she had loved him. Her love was messy, but it was there. After a brief conversation before Rocco had to go for work, Albrecht nodded and half-jokingly remarked, "Jason may have brain damage, but he still has remarkable insight." Rocco claimed that Jason had helped him appreciate the better elements of Britt. Albrecht assured them that they will soon cross paths again. Just then, Jason and Sasha were in the air, soaring to a new, more peaceful place far away from Port Charles. Sasha sat next to him, feeling thankful and nervous at the same time. She expressed her gratitude to him for everything, including his belief in her, his protection of Daisy, and his timely departure. They discussed Danny and Jason's struggles as a single father. According to Sasha, Danny confessed in her that he hoped Jason would rediscover happiness, possibly even love. Jason never seemed to share his own difficulties, but Sasha observed that he bore everyone else's. She pushed him to think about his own desires and what he truly wanted out of life. Sasha lightly caressed his hand as their jet got ready to land. She remarked, "You two deserve to be loved." Jason didn't answer right away, but it was clear from the expression in his eyes that he had heard her. Albrecht found Nina in a tailspin when he got to Crimson. She teasingly said, "You only call me when your life is on fire." She was obviously in need of direction and a sense of family, so Nina welcomed her home with comfort. Danny was ecstatic when he returned to the pool and saw the enormous tip that the enigmatic woman had left. She picked up the same bag Dalton had left behind and walked away without a word. Dalton watched all of this from the shadows, his eyes unreadable. Meanwhile, Jocelyn sent Vaughn an urgent message telling him not to come to the pool. At the backup site, meet the package. Knowing that the stakes were getting more and higher, Sunny and Lulu carried on their talk. He pledged to take care of everything, including safeguarding the city and Laura. When Dante arrived at Anna's workplace, she gave him a focused, urgent greeting. It had to do with the WSB and anything Vaughn might be concealing, and she had a favor to ask. Jason and Sasha found themselves standing on a doorstep in a quiet, strange village as the day drew to a close. Robert emerged as the door opened. Sasha glanced at him with a cautious smile and said, "Robert, this is Daisy, your granddaughter." And with that, a new chapter began. Crushing betrayal, hard truths, explosive reveal, and wedding chaos. The contentious wedding is underway on the upcoming GH. Curtis schemes a betrayal, Nina gets ready to spill the beans, and Portia confronts Willow. Nina Reeves vows to take action, Curtis Ashford threatens to betray a friend, and Portia Robinson doesn't mince words in her indictment of Drew Kane. Exposés, Portia isn't a coward. Portia breaks down in tears as she introduces Drew to Willow Tate at the hospital. This is the final straw for Portia, who has been blackmailed by Drew, who has threatened to ruin her family and profession. He wants her to falsify Michael Corinthos' medical records this time in order to prove that he is using narcotics. Drew wants to show that Michael is not a suitable father for Amelia and Wiley Corinthos. As Portia sobs, Willow's expression changes to one of rage. "You don't know who your fiancé is. Read more. See what transpired in the most recent episode of GH. Curtis threatens betrayal. Willow appears to be sitting at a dressing table with a mirror, with an odd expression in her eyes, as if she is in a room the church uses for brides to get ready for their weddings. Curtis storms into the room, determined not to let this wedding happen either. "I'm going to fight to save you, even if it means betraying a friend," he exclaims. There is a picture of Willow staring at Drew with tears in her eyes and bewildered, most likely because she believes Curtis is referring to Drew. Even Curtis can sense Willow is not herself, and the friend he's referring to is her mother, Nina. Nina has been reluctant to tell Willow things that he knows. Willow is still applying cosmetics at the dressing table as the scene progresses. Nina says she will do something. Before the ceremony, Nina assures Ava Jerome that she will take action. Ava will be shaken. As Willow's mother, Nina is upset and tells Ava that she can't watch this happen any longer. Even though it was hate sex, Ava is aware that Nina hooked up with Drew at the same time he started pursuing Willow. Ava has even proposed telling Willow the truth, but Nina has been reluctant to do so out of fear of losing her daughter once more. Will Curtis, however, outsmart her and reveal it at the wedding? The drama-filled wedding starts. Lucy Coe is shown as the officiant as Drew waits for his bride in the opening scene of the drama-filled wedding. Naturally, there are no Corinthos or Spencer family members present, so it's not a big wedding. Alexis Davis is in the front row on the right, while Nina and Liesl Albrecht are in the front row on the left. Martin Gray and Kai Taylor are on the right, while Rick Lansing and Ava are in the second row on the left. As Emily Scout Kane moves forward from the rear as the flower girl, Drew watches with pride. The question is, who will halt the wedding, and how? Acting as a career has its drawbacks, says Maurice Benard. Maurice Benard, star of General Hospital, engaged in a conversation about the challenges of acting. It happened in a recent State of Mind podcast episode. He was hosting Monica Kina at the moment. What they had to say might be of interest to you if you have ever worked in a poisonous environment. A lot of people would love to be a successful actor and enjoy the fame and money that come with it, but acting can be toxic. However, a toxic workplace can provide challenges for even seasoned actors. That speaks to a lot of folks. Thus, the conversation on Sunday, July 20th, was fascinating. With numerous TV shows and films to her credit, Monica Kina has a lengthy resume. She may be familiar to you from her guest spots on Law & Order, Criminal Intent and CSI. She is also well known for her parts in films such as Night of the Demons and 50 Pills. Both of the well-known celebrities had experienced performing in a hazardous setting when the topic came up. Difficulties on top of acting. After Kina discussed a challenging time in her career in the podcast, Maurice discussed how he once felt hated by one of the showrunners. Even though it's difficult to fathom anyone detesting Maurice Benard, he emphasized that it happened when he played the part of John Gotti. He went on to claim that it was the worst experience of his life and that it happened because a producer hated me. I was on a soap opera, and she didn't want anybody to get to play John Gotti being from a soap opera, he said. It's interesting to note that Monica Kina seems to be familiar with that whole ridiculous thing. Luckily, Maurice made friends with the director. Nevertheless, he found it very difficult, which made his role challenging. It's likely that the real Sonny Corinthos was discussing Victoria Gotti, my father's daughter, on Lifetime. He claimed that Victoria visited him one day to see what was wrong with him. In case you were unaware, the film's narrator and executive producer was Victoria Gotti. Victoria's support. She gave him a recommendation about Gotti, stating, "My father did not like The Sopranos," and she also assured him that he would love it. Hated it, so play him like Michael Corleone in The Godfather. Maurice made a concerted effort to get the voice and attitude correct after eventually locating a portion on YouTube. For the GH daytime drama star, everything worked out in the end. He always adopted the persona of Gotti. Despite the production's popularity, Maurice Benard thought that it was very tough for him, as the two performers discussed how he ended up playing a role within a role. Tracy's declaration, Turner's demand, and Portia's freedom move all connected to that, describing how difficult it may be to act and then cope with other parts of not being welcome. Harrison Chase will receive a demand from Justine Turner. Isaiah Gannon gives Portia Robinson encouragement. Tracy Quartermaine also makes a statement. The wedding of Willow Tate. Let's start with Willow Tate. Fans are aware of Willow's dark transformation once she became involved with Drew Kane. When Willow was found to be the one torturing Sasha Gilmore Corbin alongside Daisy Gilmore Corinthos, that became clear. Fans are aware that Liesl Albrecht cautioned Nina Reeves that Willow's relationship with Drew must end immediately. Willow confides in Elizabeth Liz Baldwin in the interim. Willow informs the nurse that tomorrow is the big day while wearing an anxious expression. Laura Collins finding Sonny Corinthos visits the mayor's office to talk with her. Sonny threatens to do it himself if Laura Collins doesn't. The conversation is really upsetting Laura, and it might compel her to take a risk. There will be a significant announcement, according to Jen Sidwell's declaration. General Hospital spoilers for Tuesday, July 22nd. Jen Sidwell will make this news. Due to Marco Rios, Sonny currently holds the advantage. But what occurs when Marco is set free? At that point, Sidwell will be out for blood. Turner converses with Chase as Lucas Jones at the police station. Turner shares Lucas' worries and instructs Chase to handle this case as though it were a possible kidnapping. Additionally, fans can anticipate seeing Martin Gray visit Tracy. But Tracy says that will never happen when Martin reveals a shocking revelation. Additionally, Isaiah Gannon encourages Portia Robinson to act morally. However, Isaiah advises her to fight her way to the end if she is destined to die. Will Portia have the guts to own up to her transgressions in medicine? Will she be imprisoned, or will Drew be held accountable for his actions? Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.